What is affiliate marketing? It is a person or organization officially attached to a larger body, so a larger brand. It is a type of performance-based marketing in which a business rewards one or more affiliates for each visitor or customer brought by the affiliate's own marketing efforts. So it's performance-based because a brand only pays for a successful goal completion, whether that is a click, which in many cases doesn't make the most sense. It could be a lead or it could be a sale. So typically affiliates earn commission or a percentage of each sale. So you might be asking yourself, what's the difference between affiliate and influencer marketing? I know I did when I first got involved. It's hard to keep up with all these digital terms, I know. The truth is that they are very similar. A brand is trusting someone else or another entity to create promotional content on their behalf. This is the case whether someone is an influencer or an affiliate. But there are some key differences. First, we have the cost or the payment structure. So influencers are generally or often paid a flat fee, whereas an affiliate receives a percentage commission or share of revenue from each sale. The objectives also differ. So affiliates are often used for new customer acquisition and to increase revenue, whereas influencers are mostly used for branding and awareness. So that is top of the funnel goals versus bottom of the funnel goals. The measurement of performance between these two is also different, but affiliate marketing is performance-based. So links can be tracked directly to the purchase. So there's conversion rate, there's cost per sale, etc. to measure off. Influencers are generally individuals, whereas affiliates can be an individual or an entire brand or website. When it comes to the parties that are involved in affiliate marketing, there are 4. So we have the consumer, and that is the person, of course, who purchases the product or the service. Then we have the merchant, and this is whoever created the product or the service. Then we have the affiliate, and that is the marketer, so they are promoting the product or the service, not the merchant. And then we have the network, which is not always involved because affiliate marketing, for example, can be set up between 2 businesses, so a small volume of businesses or partners, and they might create their own system for tracking and payment, etc. But the network is generally what handles payment and delivery of that campaign or the affiliate campaign that a business decides to create. We're going to quickly look at how an affiliate network works. So firstly, an affiliate would show an ad or a link to a product or service. Then a customer would click the ad or the link, which would direct them to a website or a store through a unique link that would be completely unique to the affiliate. Then the customer makes the purchase. The network records the purchase. The purchase is confirmed by the merchant as a valid sale. The transaction is credited to the affiliate because of that unique link. And then the affiliate is paid commission. If you are looking to become an affiliate and it is the business that you're wanting to start, or perhaps you're wanting to get some passive income, then there are some important things to know for success. You should only recommend what you know, just because if you're recommending things that you don't know, then it could create problems. You don't know how the quality of that item or product or service. So very important there. You should also have a variety of merchants. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. Optimize your conversion rates. This is so important. Often you might not be able to do anything about increasing your volume, so increasing the number of people that you're bringing in, whether it's from a budget or perhaps a time perspective. But if you focus on optimizing that conversion rate, so people who actually make a purchase versus people who don't, and you do that by your targeting, if you have control of your landing page, then you can work on increasing that conversion rate. There are many different options. And a lot of them we have covered when it comes to website usability, looking at mobile, ensuring your email, if that's what you're sending, is optimized, etc. You also need to stay on top of trends, because then you can look for products that are likely to be popular, and then of course you'll earn more money. And finally, don't be afraid to change. If there is a product or service that you're trying to sell but it's not working, you can stop doing that and try something else. If you are the merchant that is looking to utilize affiliate marketing to increase your own business, so actually being the merchant that adds their products or services to a network, it is good to know these points. So how do affiliates get paid exactly? It does, of course, differ based on the business and whether someone is using a network or not. But you can either be paid per sale or lead, paid per click if that is the objective. There could be a flat fee involved. That is quite rare, but it might be the case. And then what is very common is commission. So a fee per sale or a percentage per sale. The common affiliate touchpoints that would be used are influencers, of course, bloggers as well, microsites. So if someone becomes an affiliate, they choose to try and sell, let's say 20 products, perhaps they'll create their own website, which still links to the store of the merchant, because that's what has to happen for it to be tracked. But they might combine everything in a nice, clear, simple microsite. And then email lists or email is also very common. Quite a large brand that I can think of when it comes to using affiliate marketing is BuzzFeed. So they aren't a merchant. They are a content site essentially, but they post articles about useful products. And anyone who purchases something through those links that they send out, they get a percentage of that sale. So as I mentioned, it's not necessarily just for individuals. It can also be for big brands. The top affiliate categories in terms of volume and revenue, and this is for the business or the merchant, not the affiliate, they are fashion. Then we also have health and beauty, sport and outdoors, and then travel. Some interesting marketing or affiliate marketing stats. Affiliate programs generate 15 to 30% of all sales for merchants. So it is an incredibly valuable channel. And again, it's performance focused. So people or businesses are only paying for a guaranteed sale. Affiliate marketers, so the people or businesses promoting other people's products, they prefer to promote between 1 and 10 products. Almost 50% of individual affiliates make less than $20,000 a year. So it can be very hard to make decent money if it's not a full-time job. But if you are just looking for a bit of passive income, then it's a great option. And then 12% of individual affiliates make over $75,000 a year. So that is, of course, a huge jump. And these people are generally people that are doing it full-time. So some very important things to remember. Whether you want to become an influencer or you want to utilize influencers, the same with affiliates, you need to do your research. A comprehensive strategy is key to the marketing tactics and channels that you decide to tackle. And then, of course, being able to track your efforts beyond the vanity metrics is absolutely critical. It's not really possible with influencer marketing, but it is fundamental to affiliate marketing. And then we have optimization. Optimization is never a step that can be missed.
Let's have a look at this platform and see in a little bit more detail how it could be a little bit different to the other platforms that we've mentioned and how it could benefit us as a business. So what you would do for a business as your first step into getting involved with LinkedIn is simply set up a business page just like you did on Facebook, right? And there's not too much that's actually different here. It's just a different platform for different engagement, but the nature of how everything flows and operates and what information needs to be provided is very similar. And this would then look like the page that you see up on the screen at the moment. Again, we would have our cover picture and our profile picture at the top. Again, at the same time, to stay consistent, below we have the name of the business and then the description. I mean, you can copy the same description that you've used from the other platforms, because then it becomes relatable and obviously easy to follow, right? Obviously, people would follow you here and on Facebook just for, you know, the ease of access to content based on what they prefer to use on a day-to-day basis. So you don't want to make anything too different. You still are the same business on Facebook as you will be on LinkedIn, okay? And we can add a link to our website too, which is quite useful. Then below we have different tabs such as Home, where you can see different posts. My Company is specifically for employees, so I won't jump into that as much. Then we have the About section, posts, jobs that are currently being advertised, and people. So the people is working for the business in this case, right? So people who have aligned themselves with this company and have identified themselves on LinkedIn as employees of this company. And again, with the About section, we want to make sure to be descriptive, professional, and obviously relevant to the other platforms where we've identified ourselves as well, and how we've identified our descriptions. Now, this is a dummy page that was created, and this is what your page would look like from a creator's perspective, if you want to call it that. And again, you can find out a ton about your audience and your post by visiting the analytics and then selecting one of 3 categories. So visitors, people who are visiting your site; updates, so your posts; and followers, so people who are actually following you essentially. Alright. I'd also like to take this time and moment to add that while the basics are pretty much the same when it comes to all these platforms, sometimes the same things have different names. So just be aware of that, and always look at what, say, metric actually means. For example, most platforms have explanations, so you can dive into that if you are a little bit confused in a moment. For example, Facebook and Instagram call it insights, whereas LinkedIn and even Google, it's called analytics. Does that make sense? Well, I hope so. But if it doesn't, you're more than welcome just to revise the content taught in this lesson. It is all made available to you. While LinkedIn is not necessarily as big as the other 2 platforms that we've already gone over, we may have a look at it. It still has 722 million members. That's a really big number, where 57% are male and 43% are female. More than half the users are aged between 25 to 34 years old, which makes sense, as this would be the years where you really start looking for work in your career, and you start interacting within the different sectors and industries that you prefer as a professional in those same industries, right? You want to be interacting with people who do the same work or involved in the same industries, or have some similar interesting posts that you could follow that impact you and your business, right? LinkedIn is quite a good place in order for that sort of engagement. 4 out of 5 people on LinkedIn are actually decision makers for their business, so it's a high amount of potential users that are really high ranked in the industry. Another thing to keep in mind is that 57% of LinkedIn traffic is mobile, so make sure to optimize your content for that as well, just as we spoke about with regards to Facebook. This is mainly referring to image sizes though, but can also apply to text and positioning. So essentially, what do we actually use LinkedIn for? Obviously, it's a perfect platform for engagement in sectors and industry specific stuff, but it is also the perfect platform for B2B interactions, so business to business as opposed to B2C, which is business to consumer. It's developed into more than just one platform to look for a job, where users have conversations. You know, people can actually interact with one another and talk about specific topics. And as 80% of them are decision makers, it's the perfect opportunity to strike up a conversation with another business and get qualified leads. That's vitally important. It really is. And of course, you would also use the platform to hire employees, and could even be used as a way to encourage employee engagement as well down the line. It's vitally important to use it to its full potential, because it really does have a diverse approach to the new and current age market.